They start walking on Tbilisi's own streets.
So we have here the statue of which is made according to the painting of Niko Pirosmani here. Some more statues from the literature and from Georgian movies as well. This is the entrance for the Gabriadze Puppet Theater, and we have the beautiful clock tower next to the entrance here. And that's the place which is made in 2010 also by the director. And let's enjoy the view of this tower, and then I would ask you the question. You need to find something here in Tbilisi on the clock tower of Gabriadze Theater.
The smallest clock.
Yeah.
And it moves.
Yeah. It's pretty surprising to say that it's the bell tower for the church. But what I would say is that this kind of the architecture was influencing pretty a lot Georgian architecture, especially from 16th, 17th century. So from here we can get the view of the president's palace. We call it White House because like once you have a look, it really like gives you some kind of the hint of that. But that's the one which was built recently by our previous president. But the actual president right now, the first woman president of Georgia, she said that she's very much modest person to live in such kind of the big palace. But the thing is that she just moved to the better location. Like I guess that I think a more beautiful house. Yeah. So the cultural heritage of the city. So that house is really beautiful. And the church which is in front of you, that is one of the oldest church of Tbilisi here. It is called Danchishkhati Church. It's you can see very well that like part of the church is built with the bricks or the old stones or the new stones. So this is just one of the signs that yes, it was destroyed pretty a lot and was reconstructed very often. Like a popular here after the Persian invasions and occupations, and the very typical decoration for the ceiling with the typical ornaments and pieces of the mirrors, and also the kind of the melting ice ornaments at the corner of the ceiling and the wall there. And it was quite a lot. Yeah.
Covers. Nice. Wine bar and music. Georgia, country of wine, right? So most of wine lovers. On the street. A little bit modern here. Reconstruction happening. This modern bridge, quite famous.
So here we are, bridge by Italian architect Michele Del Rugi, which is called the Peace Bridge, right in the middle of the old part of Tbilisi. A lot of people say, is it a good place? But a lot of people like the nice combination of the modern architecture with the old architecture.
It looks quite cool in the videos and photos, so I think it's quite harmonic. It's not destroying anything.
Oh yeah, most people, the coastal history that shows you can see this, there's the building over there.
Yeah.
There's the example of modern stuff.
Well, I guess
The view of the river.
that's
cool.
river Mtkvari, but some of it is called Kura.
Yeah.
But we Georgians, we call it Mtkvari.
Yeah. Somehow I knew by that name. Now I will remember.
The roadway
Right.
there.
So the buildings on the left-hand side of us there are kind of like two parts of the one building. One part on the right of you is the glass roof on it. That had to be the culture exhibition, and the one on the left had to be the concert hall. But still it's not in use, and now it has a new owner, and we hope that the new owner will finish the very, very last little works for the interior decoration, and then the buildings will be in use, because like it's just a waste of the building here and not to use it. And the other part of the bridge here, the small cupola with the cross on it, that was the place of the royal district. When we were driving to the hotel, we could see the statue of the man riding the horse, King Barhangorgasali. And the other part of the city, that was the main residential area. So we have on the top of the hill there Narikala Fortress, which in the beginning was called Mother Fortress, because word mother is the synonym of central in Georgian language and in a lot of other languages as well. This was the first and the last fortresses of Tbilisi. We had 3 more fortresses in the city, but that was the only one which was maintained. So even that part of the fortress, that is a reconstruction, because in the middle of 20th century, that was the place where they used to keep the gunpowder, the Soviet government, and one day it burst in, and then just that was destroyed pretty a lot. So then they reconstructed. But on the top of the hill, bit right side there, we have a very much symbolic statue for Georgians, and that's a statue of the lady holding a sword in the right hand and the bowl in the left hand, called Mother of Georgia. You know, Mother in Armenia, also in Yerevan. So like this kind of the statue tries to symbolize the nature, the character of Georgian women. Okay.
Festival happening, basketball. Oh, that was probably the game was also. There are lots of games today. Friendly games, friendly competition. That's the bridge. All those houses on the slope. They need to walk a lot. Like
They don't have any other chance and choice.
yeah.
Ile kartę telefoniczną tutaj.
You need to be very
Feeling fat.
Yeah.
climb.
Like living there, it's not easy.
A co dzisiaj pójdziemy sobie te dekady, tam kupić coś świeżego, takie świeżego, żeby
Uważaj się.
tego drzewa, gdzie człowiek jest świeżo.
View here.
Into the more peaceful area, and that's Botanical Garden of Tbilisi, having more than 3,000 species for the trees, flowers, and bushes, and having the wedding ceremony there, and the photo session also there as well. It used to be the royal garden before, so only nobles, the lords, royal family members used to walk here, but now it's open for absolutely everyone, and it's a very good place for the people staying in the summer here in Tbilisi, because the temperature is lower here, there is a fresh air here, so like they can bring here their families. And the building in the botanical garden, that's for the scientists to work there. And on the left of us there, we have the remains of the Narikala fortress here. That was strategically very important fortress, by the way, because we had one more, for example, on the place which is in front there with the church there. Now it's a Tabor monastery, but Narikala was very, very much important because even if the number of the enemies they were like 5 times more, they could still beat and gain the victory because the gorge is pretty narrow, and the enemy could not really spread and attack the locals here at once, so that was very, very good location and a very good zip line.
Yeah, very people went very quiet without shouting. Just like you. Maybe not very scared.
Yes. But like we had like some people, what can we do with these Soviet buildings? And they started to make like the green or blue or red balconies.
Yeah,
it has blue balconies, but it doesn't help at all. I mean, like. By the way, the building there with the like kind of the faded yellow color, the tufa stone, that is also from the Soviet times. But like in some cases we had like exterior decoration, but in most cases we didn't. And by the way, the building with the circled rounded dome, white one with the circled windows, that used to be synagogue. This is also synagogue with the solar system panels there on the roof there. So one of the best things in Tbilisi, if someone asked me, is that like the tolerance and the friendship between the people, besides the differences of the religion or like culture or ethnical groups, because like it's the city where the synagogue is very close to Armenian church. Armenian church is just 50 meters away from the Orthodox church. Then the mosque also 100 meters away. The Catholic church and pagan temple of fire, 6 very different religious buildings is something like 1.5 kilometers distance. So actually in the Caucasus Mountains, a lot of people they have cows and more people would have sheep because of the fact that like the climate is different there. It's getting really cold in August already at night, so they cannot cultivate everything they can in the lowlands. So that's why mostly they would have sheep. Twice a year they cut the wool, they wash it into the icy water, saying that it makes the wool softer, and then they use all the different natural paints for the colors. And they make thread, they boil the thread generally with the different plants or flowers, and then the whole winter, which is approximately 5-6 months there, the women make carpets. I would say that this is a tradition which is getting to be lost, I guess, because like one carpet often takes 3-4 months, in some cases even 6 months. So like not a lot of young people very much like fond of
3D printing
buildings in the city. And I guess that we have enough time to have a quick look of the different fresco paintings of this church here. The artist just 40 years ago decided to bring absolutely different like shapes and colors, etc. So I think that it would be interesting. The entrance in the art, we have here the Georgian traditional fresco painting, which is recently painted, but still it follows exactly the same style as it used to be typical for Georgian fresco painting. The only detail which is different here, it's in the middle there, the cross, the background of the cross, where we see the blue background with the golden stars on it. That's a very Slavic one, and generally we never mix it with the Georgian fresco painting, but I don't know why the painter here decided to have such kind of a painting. So that was the caravansa right here. all of the buildings used to have one and the same structure, which meant that in the middle it would have all the time open space and would not be covered with the roof, because that was the source of getting the daylight, sunlight. So the first floor was all the time for the with the small roofs for the traders, so they could rent the room and keep their goods bringing from different countries. Every single day they were opening the door and bringing the goods out, and they were selling, and then evening they were closing it again, and then was the second floor on the first floor where we used to have the rooms, kind of the hotel for them to stay. So that's how it was divided. And mostly also caravanserais, very often they used to have also the big yard, because it was necessary for all of the traders to keep the donkeys, camels, horses, any of the animals which they used for transit. So they used to keep them into the yard.
Yani yemeliydi, öyle değil.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
To the other side of the street, and it's at the same time the souvenir shop. So we have some of the handmade craft here. This is, for example, the specialty which is used for crushing the grapes when we have the harvest. So it has the hole on the other side, and just of the grape comes out. So we have some ceramics here, mosaic, different kind of the souvenirs. We have some musical instruments. That's the street which is still called a street of the painters, because of the fact that once the artisans were washing the leather, then the leather was often painted exactly here on this street, or any type of the cloth. So that's why we still call it the street of the painters. That's the Armenian church, by the way, here. St. George, Sub Georg.
Yeah.
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 Sadly, it's closed now.
Yeah, probably already left. Oh, okay.
We have a saying that better to have a bad neighbor than the good relative, because the neighbor is the one who is next to you the first when you are in need.
Yeah.
So I would say that neighborhood is a very important thing for all Georgians. And I live in such kind of the neighborhood, Tbilisi neighborhood. By the way, all the mixed nationalities. My neighbors are Armenians, Azerbaijani family, and also we have one Jewish. And every time when there is, for example, a single person, elderly person, they take care of this person very much. We had one of the elderly men in the neighborhood, and he was the one getting the best meals ever, because he used to get a plate of all the dishes which were cooked into the different families in the neighborhood. That's the mosque, by the way, with the cupola on it, building in front with the red bricks.
Yeah.
And that's the only mosque of Tbilisi nowadays. By the way, Shia and Sunni both pray together there. The fact that this is the district of the sulfur bath, and that's a place which we call Abanotubani. All of the buildings with the brick with the rounded cupolas on it. These are the sulfur bath houses. The water comes out from the ground, the sulfur water, which is naturally warm water, and it was used pretty a lot in the previous times, and it is used very often also nowadays. And it's not only popular between tourists, but it's very popular between locals as well. I would say that in the previous time, they had such kind of tradition. I was saying that we had a lot of traders coming from different countries. which could bring a lot of diseases with them.
Yeah.
So that's why there was one for absolutely everyone, going to the bath houses until entering the main parts of the city. And here, because of the fact that we had this warm water and they did not have to heat it up, and it was the sulfur water, which is a very good antiseptic. That was the reason that the second reasons that they made Tbilisi the capital of the country. The same, but it's the sulfur water.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Just
Very
belonged
pretty.
to the local lord here, so that's a little bit different comparing to the rest. The one on the left there with the white stones, that is the sulfur water coming out from the tube. So the sulfur changed a lot the color of the stone and the structure. Right, that would be like again the strong flavor. All the houses here as well were renovated by the government. So now the owners of the apartments there, they remade the apartments as the guest houses. So there are a lot of people now, the tourists coming from different countries, staying here in such kind of the old houses with the beautiful view, and they enjoy it pretty much.
Look at that.
This is allowed
How you view. This must be so relaxing because you are just directly on the water. You can hear the water sounds.
Yeah. When it's very warm in the summertime, that's the like favorite place of all the guys. Because like comparing to the rest part of the city, it's like at least 2-3 degrees less.
Yeah.
So like
So they prefer to come here.
yeah. We always prefer to tell the stories exactly here when it's the daytime.
There will be lots of people on the street. It's okay to take pictures, just take the video and it's easier for us.
Let me show you how it looks like in the
Okay. So first day in Georgia, in
Yeah.
Tbilisi. So tell us
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, first impressions of Tbilisi, very good. We got here, had a little rest, then had a nice walk for about an hour and a half around the old town. Took the cable car up to the top, fantastic views, and back down again. And then we drove, it was, I don't know, probably about 20 minutes outside of the centre of Tbilisi to a restaurant where they had live music. We were playing all traditional music and traditional Georgian dancing, which was good, and tried a lot of the local Georgian food, which was very tasty.
Yeah.
So it was a good first impression of Georgia.
Okay. So early morning we are leaving Tbilisi and going somewhere else,
Yeah.
which we will tell you tomorrow. It's
Yes.
going to be raining because I can see thunderstorm now. So good night and see you all tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.